Hello, my name is George and I'm the Development Officer for Clubs and Safeguarding here at Boccia, England. This month has been UK Disability History Month, a month that aims to celebrate our lives as disabled people, both now and in the past. Today, I'm joined by head coach of Nottinghamshire Boccia Club, Pete Edwards, to hear about his experience of how Boccia and the sport has changed over time. Thanks for joining me today, Pete. It's great to have you here.
You're very welcome.
So my first question is, when did you first hear about Boccia and how did you get involved in the sport?
I heard about boccia around about 1999, 2000, when my son was diagnosed with the same hip condition as me, and we were looking for some form of clubs for him to get involved in. And we heard about a community club that was at Hena Leisure Centre, and we went across and they did various sports, and one of them was boccia. So that was my first time I'd ever heard about it, but didn't know about it until that particular day. So
quite a while then. So when you first got involved in the sport in 1999, how popular was Boccia?
Not a lot of people knew about it. I started work for the county council, Nottinghamshire County Council, in 2000 as a coach and a mentor and a buddy. And part of that was I became a coach for boccia and a few other sports as well. I was already a swimming coach, and Nottinghamshire had a boccia elite squad. And I became the manager of the club or the organisation of that. And then after a year, I became head coach along with another coach. So I've just found out recently, I'm into my 19th year of being involved with what is now Notts Boccia Club, but it used to be Nottinghamshire Elite Squad.
Fantastic. And how have you seen boccia change since you've been involved in the sport?
It's changed a lot over the 20 years I've been involved, and for the good. It used to be run by cerebral palsy sport, and then it became in its own right a governing body, and I think that's when it really kicked off. And with the backing of Sport England and other organisations, it's increased the amount of people that are involved in it. It's just unreal. The players, last total I heard was about 5,000, it's probably more now. And I think what made it even better was a build up to 2012 at the Paralympics that was in London as well. And over that time, I became, as well as being a coach, I became a tutor, a classifier, a technical classifier that is, and I had the privilege to go to London 2012 as a national technical officer supporting the sport, which was a real privilege to do that.
I can imagine. So do you think 2012 has had a big impact, a lasting impact on the sport?
I think so, and I think if you get the right people in the right place and share the sport, even today I'm still going around introducing this sport to people that's never known about it. I recently in October went up to a place called Kellingworth and introduced boccia to a group of families with special needs children, which I've emailed you about. They didn't even know boccia existed, and one young man decided that he was going to come all week if we played boccia every day, which we did. And now they want to set a club up. So even though they might not fit the Paralympic pathway, there are other pathways, but also it's about taking part in the sport and enjoying it as well.
And I think that enjoyment element is key for the sport. As long as they enjoy it, that's the main thing. And you mentioned a bit about Nottinghamshire Boccia Club and our involvement in that. Can you tell me a bit about how and when that was set up, and when did you get involved in it?
Well, pre-Nottinghamshire Boccia Club, it used to be the Notts County Council Boccia Elite Squad, and in them days it was only players who could go up the Paralympic pathway were eligible to be part of that, but it was funded by Notts County Council. And I managed that for a number of years before we were told that it as well as other clubs or elite squads, had to become self-sufficient. So I would say a good 12, 13 years ago, we started looking for funding, acquired quite a bit of funding. We'd already transferred from a split site, which was Portland College and Fountaindale, and we went to Joseph Whittaker Sports Centre, and they, as a partnership, we became a partner of the school, and they actually laid 4 courts for us. So each badminton court's got a bocce court on it. And as part of that, we've grown and grown. We've got 20 plus athletes that come. And over the 20 years I've been involved, we've developed young people from being players. So like Kate Dewhurst, when I first met her, she was a player, but now she's a coach. And I know she used to be or is part of an academy as well. And her pathway now is that she's actually coaching, not playing. Dan, as an example, I met him when he was about 16, 17. And that's when I was delivering leadership roles and boccia level 1s at that time. And I watched him grow, and I went to Paralympics with him. And we've become really good friends. But I think Nottinghamshire Boccia Club as well has helped other volunteers getting into boccia. Sarah Dunster is an example. She used to be a player. She's now a coach. She also comes timekeeping as well at events. And so, yeah, so we've grown volunteers as well as growing athletes as well. And we've got a good bank of athletes who's younger, and we actually operate about 44 weeks a year. So we don't have that much time away from boccia. And we enter every single competition we can possibly enter. So, but yeah.
That's been, thank you, Peter. It's really great to hear about how the club's grown every time, and to hear about them stories from the club. So my next question is, what do you enjoy the most about being involved in boccia?
I just like seeing our most disabled people being able to play a sport that they love to play. I, for years, was sports development officer for disabled people, and I have this passion and drive that, irrespective of what people's disability, if they wish to play sport, we should open that avenue and find a sport that they're going to enjoy and play. And boccia is one of those sports where there's 8 classifications now, so there's no impairment that can't play the sport. You know, I know we've got 2 different pathways, but that's absolutely fine, and that's the way it's set up. You know, but I just like to see people with smiles on their faces and really enjoying. And I like to see the frustration as well when they lose, because they learn from that, and we learn from that as coaches as well. So yeah, it's unique in that sense that it's for anybody and everybody. And non-disabled children, even in primary schools and all, play boccia, you know, as part of school games. And I think that in itself is an achievement as well. So.
And in all your time being involved in the sport, what has been your boccia highlight?
Oh, there's been so many. I really enjoyed being the England BC1 and BC2 squad coach and taking them to competitions and coaching at that high level, but also being able to bring back to a club level the things that you've learned and things that you share with the England squads and things like that. I think also the one as a volunteer going to the Paralympics, you know, that was another one. But my pinnacle for me is actually seeing people succeed, whether that's as a player, as a volunteer, whether as a coach. And I've mentored people for years in coaching. And I just love to see people develop and come to that next step. Because I know I'm not always going to be around. And at some point, I don't know when that's going to be, I may decide, actually, I should retire. You know, but that's a few years away yet. You know, but I think for me, it's about seeing people, you know, develop and become who they want to be in such a beautiful sport.
Yeah, I completely agree. And my final question is, you've touched a lot about the history of boxing, about your past in boxing and your past experiences of boxing, but now looking to the future, what are your hopes for the future of boxing?
I'd love to see Boccia grow. And when I say grow, I'm not just talking about players, I'm talking about officials and coaches and people, if they wish, also to become part of Boccia England and help develop from that side of it. Trying to get people from a county point to get more people involved with the sport as well, whether they have a disability or not. And it's just about growing the sport and it becoming that when you say to people, Boccia, I always get that response, boxing. I said, no, Boccia. And I have to explain. And I think I want to see that day where we don't have to explain what Boccia is. We say Boccia and people actually know what it is. You know, and so that's my ultimate dream, that people are aware that Boccia is a sport, it's a Paralympic sport.
Yeah, and I think that would be perfect.
It would.
If Boccia became a household name, and everybody, and when you mentioned Boccia, people immediately knew what they were talking about.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
And so that's been thankful that I answered Pete, and thanks as well for your time this morning. It's been really appreciated. And thank you everybody for watching this interview. I hope that you have enjoyed hearing about Pete's experience of Boccia and how the sport has changed over time. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.